Things are going from bad to worse for Arsenal. There's no way to beat around the bush on this. The latest installment in what the hell is going on saw Arsenal's best player and arguably the best player in the Premier League dropped from their starting 11 as they took on Liverpool, which again, they lost and dropped out of the top 4. So Arsenal at the moment are going through turmoil, and it really is leading up to what I think could potentially be an exodus in the summer from several of their best players looking to head elsewhere, led, I think, by Alexis Sanchez. So to give you a little context first, Alexis Sanchez was in a row, a bust-up in training with several teammates apparently, and therefore was not included in the starting 11. Arsene Wenger being Arsene Wenger, it was a tactical decision. Tactical to not include a player who's been directly involved in 26 goals in 26 of his games this season, scoring 17, assisted in 9. I don't think there's anything tactical there. It's really stupid to try, at least admit that he's in it, he's not starting because there was a bust-up. Then people aren't going to question whether or not you are even more ridiculous than you have proven to be in the last couple of seasons. So things are not looking good. And Alexis Sanchez, a beacon of hope at some points for Arsenal, not in the starting 11, encompassed by another defeat, which is now 3 in the last 4, I believe. So, yeah.
I just like the really ballsy move at halftime to go, let's put Alexis Sanchez back in the starting
Let's bring him back in.
Let's bring him back in and see if he can bail us out from down 3-1. Now, I think it would have been even better if he did bail him out, just to hear whatever tactical decision was like, I'm just going to hold him off. But by the way, Liverpool's the only team in the friggin' Premier League who can beat Arsenal 3-1, I guess without Alexis Sanchez, which has a lot to do with it, and then lose to like Dundee Championship B squad like a week later.
Dundee?
Yeah, I made up the team.
They're not a made-up team. They're a Scottish team.
Oh.
How the hell did you just throw Dundee out?
Nice. Are they in the Scottish Premier League?
Yeah.
No, that's not bad enough. I need they could be
low enough.
They'd lose to Ayr United in about a week.
Potentially.
It's a problem with Liverpool the whole season, but in Alexis Sanchez's case, what's the reason to stay at Arsenal? They've shown no promise.
Zero
last
reasons.
year was their best chance, we already discussed last season. Yeah. Same with Tottenham, was their best chance to win the Premier League. It's not going to go forward, and next year's going to be better. Granted, some people were tweeting me saying that Tottenham, is young and all these things that could happen, and I still don't buy it. And Manchester United, now we're only 7 weeks away, I believe, Francis, is not in the top 4.
Yeah.
So just saying, all the predictions could come true. Done.
Any club in the world would be stupid not to try and look to get Alexis Sanchez. Stupid.
Would he
really,
stay
really stupid.
In the Premier League and go to a United, a City, or a Chelsea?
Could make the usual Arsenal to Man City move that has happened.
It's a usual move?
Yeah, it's happened with Bakary Sagna, Clichy, Adebayor.
Oh, right.
Several players, not directly, I don't believe it. Did Adebayor move directly? I don't know. There's so many of them that have recently left. And if you look at what they all have in common, most of them have a Premier League trophy now in their cabinet. Cesc Fabregas at Chelsea, Robin van Persie did it and went to Manchester United. It's not a theme that I'm highlighting just to rub salt in the already gaping wounds of Arsenal fans. It's just the fact is that this team no longer has the mentality to be a winning, consistent Premier League contending team. Finishing second last year looks good, but when you see who won the Premier League title, it doesn't look that good because you should have been closer to Leicester City, and you should have been the team to not allow for that monumental moment in history to have happened in the first place. So your best chance this year, when you looked your best, was usually through the brilliance of Alexis Sanchez combining with those around him. He makes his teammates look great. And I know I don't usually like to have the idea of a player is bigger than the club. I gave Dimitri Payet a lot of criticism when he was doing it at West Ham. But Dimitri Payet wasn't at West Ham thinking he had a chance at winning the Premier League and going on to greater success. Alexis Sanchez joined Arsenal because he wanted to win trophies and he wanted to become and lead that team to be a consistent Premier League contending team. He played for Barcelona. The guy obviously likes to win. He's got that winning mentality. You see him at Chile. He's now Copa America champion at Chile. He knows what it takes to win trophies. He doesn't want to sit on the sideline.
I was going to mention that, and his one, but he was also linking up with Arturo Vidal, and I don't think there's anybody in the Arsenal midfield who was playing this season to the likes of what Vidal was doing on Chile when they were winning the Copa America. And I know a lot of people are going to be like, well, what about Mesut Ozil? He's like Eden Hazard has been on a milk carton this entire season. Not this entire season. For the last 8 weeks of play, he's disappeared completely. And it's got to be frustrating for Arsenal fans because they can either make excuses like Wenger or just admit that they need an overhaul.
They do. And it starts from the only reason you keep hold of Alexis Sanchez, I think, is if you finally make the decision that everyone's been hinting at. And Arsene Wenger goes and they bring in a new lease of life, a new internal outlook, I would say, on what this club is going to be going forward. And partner that with some big name signings that have leadership. Arsenal need leaders in that team. But Alexis Sanchez, it's a good point you brought up, Arturo Vidal. Bayern Munich, man, that could be a good fit for someone like him. And there's no real substance there to back it up. I'm sure if you look on the internet, just type in Alexis Sanchez rumours, I'm sure there'll be plenty of teams out there that are already linked to him. Maybe a return to Barcelona, maybe Real Madrid, maybe Bayern Munich, Juventus, who knows? As I mentioned, no one is off the table when it comes to this man. He's a very unique player. He's in the list, I would think, of the likes of Griezmann. I'm talking about players that may become available. I'm not putting them right there next to the world's best like Messi and Ronaldo. I'm talking about of those that could become available. Any of the bigger teams in the world would be stupid not to look at Alexis Sanchez and bring him in. Even if Manchester United can dip further into their endless funds and bring someone like him in.
Save him. Save Alexis.
The thing is, the difference is people will be like, why would he go to Manchester United when Arsenal, of course, look still like a better team and have been better in the last couple of years? I think the reason is because Manchester United have openly admitted that they're not that good and are trying to build for a better future. Arsenal, under the guidance of Arsene Wenger, are just not admitting that they're not as good as their competitors and are just kind of relying on what used to be instead of admitting, all right, we've got problems, let's rebuild and let's see if we can go and tackle the future. And that comes from new managers. I think that's a big reason why Alexis Sanchez could look to go somewhere else. So they're going to struggle. They're really going to struggle to hold on to him unless something changes in the summer, I think, see.
That's it. That's all I got.
You concur?
I concur.
All right, well, let's take a quick look and remind ourselves of the Premier League table. It is D15 to give ourselves a quick reminder as to how things are looking at the top. So Chelsea still with a game in hand at the moment. 7 points clear. They win that game. They go 10. And I think that it won't be long before it is wrapped up, in my opinion, for Chelsea. But Liverpool with that victory, they go into 4th place. Arsenal dropping out of top 4. Manchester United just can't seem to try and get within touching distance of top 4, it seems, this season so far.
What's not being discussed enough is that if Chelsea wins today, this clip's going up probably around when they're playing, and they go up with a 10-point lead in the Premier League, I think 11 points is the largest victory in Premier League's history.
Since it became the Premier League.
Since it became the Premier League. So you're talking about the most dominant. How else do you classify it? It's not Chelsea's fault that the rest of the teams couldn't get their shit together to make a run at them. It's the same argument we have in all sports. They play who's in front of them, and Chelsea has pretty much dominated who's in front of them.
Ever since they lost to Arsenal, they completely reshaped. And
I remember that.
That was a huge moment.
You remember that?
I remember it. And a quick note, by the way, before everyone rips me apart on Twitter for not talking about it. Yeah, Zlatan Ibrahimovic is going to face some punishment, elbowing. And of course, got to highlight, because everyone on Twitter reminded me of it. And by the way, people were bringing up what I said about Aguero as well. Just because I rip into one player, it doesn't mean I'm not going to have the same sort of standard. Regardless of how much I like you, if you commit an atrocity on the field, I'm going to rip into you. And Zlatan deserves to be ripped into, not just for his actions against Tyrone Mings. It's the fact is that he then, afterwards, rather than just be no comment, he jumped into my elbow. There's a difference. If your elbow is just kind of static and he jumps into it, fine. But he clearly
dropped the elbow.
He clearly dropped it, the rock style on him. So Zlatan and Tyrone Mings, according to this update I just had from The Guardian, have been charged with violent conduct by the FA for the incidents that happened between Manchester United's draw with Bournemouth. Zlatan's facing 3-game ban, but Mings' suspension would be longer. And Mings, it doesn't excuse what he did either. If you've seen it, he stamped on Zlatan Ibrahimovic's head when he went over. Both of them really disgusting acts, and there's no place for it in world football. And Zlatan's had this part of his game. This is not, just don't be masked by how brilliant and confident and cocky and his success is. If you look at Zlatan, there is some instances in the past where that ego has got the better of him, and he's thrown elbows, and he's gotten in the face of opponents, and he's done some things that I think kind of overshadow how good of a player he has become. And Manchester United will miss him dearly, especially in their push to try and get top 4 this season.
Yeah, 3-game ban is a long ban.
Yeah, especially
there's
at this point
only
in the season.
7 games left.
7.
21 available points.
There's 12. There's 26. There's 38 games in the Premier League season.
Oh, we have a long way to go.
We still have a good quarter of the season almost to go. Here's in the comments. What do you think? Alexis Sanchez, is he going to be heading out? What club do you think he would go to? Are Arsenal stupid to even think that without letting Arsene Wenger go, they would be able to keep hold of Alexis Sanchez? Because my mind's made up. Let us know in the comments. What do you think is Zlatan? Also, Jason Rubin 91, Francis _Maxwell. We'll see you guys soon.